I think this one came out really cool. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's me, Tobias. Thank you for joining me today. Today we have another terrarium build, and what we're going to use this time is this Sailor Jerry's bottle. I think that'll be a pretty cool terrarium. And before we get started with that, let's just do a quick update on the 40-ounce terrarium build that we did last time. So here it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at how everything is doing. As you can see, all the plants are like doing pretty well. I look at this every day, so it's really hard for me to tell how much they've grown. But this succulent right here definitely looks taller now, and also this grass looks a bit taller as well. And if you look in the back here, I don't know how hard it is to see, there is one piece of the grass that's coming out from the ground right there, and that grew all by itself. What I'm guessing happened is that the root going under the dirt right here sprouted another piece of grass going that way. As well as that, you can also see that on this succulent there are actually some roots coming out of it that are new. Right there, if you guys could see that, those little white roots. The moss here on the bottom, as you can see, grew a lot. That was just a little piece of moss that I put in there. And the moss on the stick is doing all right, although it doesn't seem to be adhering all that much to the stick. It's mostly being held on there by the thread that I tied it to, that I used to tie it to the stick with. Aside from those two things, earlier today when I checked on the terrarium, I saw a small bug crawling on the side of the glass right here, on the inside of the bottle, and it kind of looked like it might have been a springtail. That would be cool if it was a springtail, because those actually eat any like mold that might grow inside the terrarium, so those are like kind of a good thing to have. So yeah, alright, let's get on to the new terrarium. As you can see, I have everything that I need right here. This is the main plant that I want to plant in the terrarium. These are some ground covering plants that I collected from outside, like probably about a week ago, that I'm going to try to plant inside there. And of course I have my moss, the same moss that I used last time, and the bottle. This is a Sailor Jerry's bottle. I'm going to leave the front of the label on because I think it's cool, and also on the inside of the Sailor Jerry bottles there's always like an illustration on the inside. I just want to show you guys this one. This is the illustration. This is like one of the labels that I peeled off another bottle that I had. So most of the time they all come with like a different picture. I've never gotten a bottle that had the same picture twice, so I don't know. But this label right here, I am going to take this one off just so you could see inside better. Then we have this cup over here, which I have a stick soaking in, and this has been soaking for like a while, since like yesterday pretty much. And the reason that I put it in the water is I'm trying to like waterlog it, and if you look now, it's not floating anymore, so I think it's completely waterlogged. And the theory behind that is that I'm hoping that when I attach moss to this stick, maybe the moss will be more inclined to stick to the stick instead of just being held on by the thread. So we'll see how that goes. And then over here I have these rocks. We just had these at the house. I think they're called like Palm Springs. Oh, they're called Palm Springs Gold, these rocks right here. Over here we have this, we have the charcoal, of course, which we need to filter the water, and then some decorative stones and shells and stuff in this container. And oh yeah, and of course the screen mesh, which will be like our false bottom. And we're ready to get started. Alright guys, the first thing I'm going to do is stick a wet paper towel over this front, or this back label I should say, and that'll loosen the label up so I can get it off. Alright guys, as you can see, I did get the label off. Took a minute, but I got it clean off. So as usual, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our gravel, our Palm Springs Gold rocks. And if you haven't seen my last terrarium video, the reason for doing this is so that we don't have water sitting in the dirt. The rocks will be at the bottom, the false bottom will be on top of there, followed by the charcoal, then the dirt. So all the standing water will be down with the gravel. Alright guys, that took a while so I turned off the camera, but yeah, that should be a good amount of gravel. So now we're going to go ahead and cut our screen that we have over here to about the size of the container. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my cut around it because it's kind of like uneven. Alright, that looks a lot better, and let's see if it's the right size. I know the issue with this bottle is that it has these two indents right here, like where you are supposed to grab it by, and I believe the mesh is going to sit like right around where that indent starts. So it's going to be like kind of just like a close estimation. I could probably make it a little smaller. I might just go ahead and make it a little smaller, and then we'll go ahead and drop it in. Alright guys, I went ahead and made the mesh a little smaller, and it's gonna go right in here, right under these rocks. It's gonna be really good. This stuff works really good. By the way, this is like mesh meant for a screen door, and this works really well for making false bottoms in these terrariums. And the place I learned all this from is from Serpent Design on YouTube. He like makes a bunch of terrariums and stuff, and he's like really passionate about what he does. So yeah, that's where I got this information. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this down in here right above the rocks. In hindsight, I realized I should have made slits, 2 slits in the mesh. Luckily, I have this tool where I could grab it back out with. So let's go ahead and see if we could grab the mesh. There we go. Whew. Alright guys, I just made the 2 slits, one right there and one right there. Hopefully that'll stop the mesh from going all bendy when it gets into the bottle. Alright, take 3 guys, this should help a lot. Alright guys, if we take a close look, you know, the mesh is looking pretty good. It doesn't fit 100% snug. Sorry about the background noise, I have the window open, but yeah, you know, we got the cuts out there, you know. I mean, I think it's looking pretty good. Once we get the dirt in there, it's going to flatten it out even more. Alright guys, so what we're going to do next is add the charcoal. Let me show you what charcoal I'm using. So this is the charcoal I use. It's by whatever this brand is, EB Stone. And you really need charcoal in this terrarium because it is a closed terrarium, meaning I'm going to have the top on it. And it even says down there, helps absorb soil odors and reduce the impact of overwatering. So let's go ahead and put a layer of that on top of the mesh. Alright guys, so that's how much charcoal I put in there. It is, I may have kind of put a lot, but I would rather have too much than not enough. And the idea behind the charcoal is that once we have the soil in there, the water will pass through the soil, and then it will pass through the charcoal, and then it will more or less sit down here a little bit. And then what will happen is it will evaporate, the water will evaporate again. And let me backtrack for a second. When it passes through the charcoal actually filters the water and kind of cleans it. Before it sits down here at the bottom. Then what will happen is the water will kind of evaporate back up again, precipitate, and then, condensate, and then precipitate inside the bottle and kind of water the plants again. So it's kind of like a reoccurring natural kind of sequence. And most importantly, the charcoal will prevent the soil from going putrid. And now we're ready to add the dirt. So I have a funnel right here. I'm just going to put the funnel in the top and try to shake some dirt down in there. I'm just using this, I don't remember the brand, but it's just like, you know, a potting soil you could buy from your local hardware store or whatever. Alright guys, I think that looks pretty good. I think that's like a pretty good amount of dirt. Alright guys, so a second ago I just sprayed it down a little bit with a spray bottle. I put some water inside just to moisten the dirt a little before I put the plants in. And now we should be good to start putting the plants in. The first plant I'm going to do is this one right here. This is going to be like the main plant of the terrarium. And then I don't want to have like any spaces of dirt like left. I pretty much want to cover the entire floor. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to plant this one. Hopefully I can get it somewhere in the middle. Then after that I'll plant some of this stuff on the side. And after that, I'll go ahead and put moss down wherever I have room. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get our first plant in there. It was getting a little dark, so I went ahead and got some lights. All right, but now we're good to go. So here we go. There's some bad leaves. I'm just gonna go ahead and take those off. That one right there and this one. That is a big plant. Alright guys, so I got kind of a new plan. As you can see, the plant obviously didn't make it into the middle because of the roots, it just won't allow it to be in the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put like another small layer of dirt, and that's how we're going to bury these roots. Actually, I kind of like how it's off to the side, then you can still see the illustration behind it. Now I'm going to try to go ahead and get some of this ground covering in there. That right there. The cool thing about this plant is that the ground covering plant, it's kind of like, it doesn't need to be totally in the dirt. The roots are kind of like, it's kind of weird. It's like the roots are kind of just like this thing. It's like they all are, it's just like a tangled system of roots that kind of like, yeah, they do go into the dirt, but a lot of the roots are above the ground. So like, I'm pretty sure they'll kind of make their way into the dirt. That's kind of how I planted them in here. And they've been doing all right in this cup, so I'm assuming that's going to be fine. Now we are ready to put in some moss. So let's go ahead and rip off some pieces. So here's a top view of the bottle, and it looks like we got pretty much most of the floor of the terrarium covered. We got the moss, we got that other ground coverage over here, just in this little corner. I think that'll do pretty well there. And then on the other side we have some more moss. And then if we go to the other side of the label, we have, you know, this plant and then some more moss right there. So we got some pretty good coverage. All right, guys, now I'm gonna put some like little decorations in there. This is like a seashell. And then I have these like 2 white rocks. I think those will put some like good contrast in there. Earlier I was talking about putting this stick in there, but now that I'm looking at it, we might not actually need this stick in there. I don't know. What do you guys think? So yeah, let's just go ahead and for now put in these stones and the seashell. Here's the shell. Whoop. And move it to the left. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this terrarium build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I will be doing updates on this, like to see how it's going and everything. And I don't remember if I mentioned this, but this is going to be a closed terrarium, meaning just like the 40-ounce terrarium, I am gonna put the cap on it and it'll be closed. The plants will, you know, produce oxygen in there and it will water itself. I put a pretty good amount of water in there already, like with the spray bottle, but I will have to put some more. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I like how all the space inside is like covered. I like that. And these plants look cool right there coming up on the side. And we got this rock right there. And it's cool. I like how you could still see the illustration in the back. At least the top part of the body of the girl. I think that's pretty cool. And then we got this plant right here coming up the side. I think that looks really cool. I think it looks really natural. But yeah, I think this one came out really cool. Yeah, this looks really cool. Let's take another look in from the top. Cool. In person, it's a lot easier to see in. But yeah, I really like how this one came out. I'm quite pleased. Alright guys, well that's just about it for this video. If you like this terrarium build, if you like this video, go ahead and give me a like. That really helps me out a lot. And if you've never seen any of my other videos before, go ahead and check out my channel. I do cover songs, I do vlogs, I do reviews, and yeah, I've been doing these I just started doing terrarium builds. I'll probably do some more. Well, I will do some more. I have already have the stuff to do it. I have the bottles and everything. So yeah, if you like what you see on my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.